One of the things that was kind of confusing to me when I started gardening is everybody kept saying, oh, you need to do infrequent long watering. And I'm like, well, how infrequent? How long? I don't understand that question, or I don't understand how to do that. So when I started to learn how to water trees and to water things like that, I started to kind of understand why. So today we're going to talk about this little tool. This is a watering tool. My friend Christy across the street had mentioned, oh wow, I didn't know that you could use it like that, because Jim in my other videos had used the watering wand. And so I wanted to kind of go over this with you. This is a pretty inexpensive tool. You can buy it at Home Depot or at Lowe's, and pretty much anywhere that has gardening supplies. They do sell this. I've seen other people use rebar or some long piece of metal just to see. So when we began planting our trees, we put 2 emitters around the base of the tree, which worked perfect to get the roots established. We watered every day, and then we started backing off the water to every few days. And then now where we're up to is 7 to 10 days on the trees in the front, which we just put in. This weekend, we're actually going to put in a bubbler system similar to this bubbler system, because as the trees get bigger, you need to have more water, and so the bubbler system is a better option for you. So this tool, all you have to do is actually push it in the ground here next to the trunk, just to see how much water you're getting and see how deep you are. And once you do that, then you kind of get an idea of how deep you're going. You know, we're trying to get 2 to 3 feet, because roots are going to go really deep. They're not like vegetables or flowers. You've got to water really deeply with them. So we're going to see where we're at with this one, and as you can see, we're definitely where we need to be. So we don't need to water this tree probably for another 7 to 10 days in the spring. So we're in March right now, and that's perfect. In the summertime, you're going to increase it every 4 to 7 days, just depending on how hot it is and where your tree is located. Now, if you buy this and you start to stick it in the ground and it won't go in, that means you need to water. It means that this is not going to be able to work for you, and that you haven't watered long enough for the moisture to seep into the soil. Now, if you go in and it goes in really deep and it's easy to push and you're like, oh, and it goes almost to the top, then you've probably overwatered. And that kind of gives you an idea about how much water you have in your soil and where the moisture meter is. Plants on their own actually have their own watering system. So one of the things that you need to kind of be aware of is, as you can see, our bubbler system's clear out here. And as this tree gets bigger, we're actually going to move the bubbler system out. This is the canopy of the tree, and this is where the water comes from. So when it rains, the water falls from the leaves of the tree, and actually soaks into the root system right there. That's where it needs to get the water. Now, a lot of people try to put their water right next to the trunk of the tree. It's not going to do any good. You need to be out where the canopy of the tree is. So as your tree gets bigger, you need to be able to move your sprinkler system or your hose or wherever you're watering with out to the canopy of the tree to get sufficient water to your tree.
There can be a tree in a grass area or a turf area, and people will assume that their tree is getting enough moisture through the watering of the turf or the grass, but it's not going to happen. We only water grass for a few minutes because the grass is only a couple of inches past the soil. And then another couple of problems that will develop is that the salt that resides in our soil is now going to start coming to the surface because we didn't water deep enough to push the salt past the root profile and past the plant profile. We want to get as much salt out as possible and leach that through the soil, and the only way we're going to do that is through deep watering. Another reason that you don't want to have shallow waterings to a tree is you're going to lose a lot of water to evaporation, and then the tree won't even benefit from the moisture that you put down anyway, because it will have evaporated into the air or into the grass area. You're also going to have a shallow root system, and roots have a couple of purposes that serve our trees. The first one is that they are an anchoring system for the tree. So the deeper that they go, the more that they're going to hold the tree up. and spread those roots out and really develop a good structure system for them to stay in place. And so that's another reason to deep water. They also are getting the nourishment and from the water that you are watering around the canopy of the tree, like we discussed earlier.
Well, I hope it'll inspire you to get out and plant some fruit trees and turn your garden into an urban forest like we're trying to do.